warm welcome to you all. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this reading, which is Cancers for October 2017. We are using these new cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. They are energy healing cards as such, work very similar to a tarot deck. They're quite intuitive and they have a lot of lovely messages come through them. We will be using 6 of these cards, and then I have already pulled one previous card for you before your reading began, and that's the same with everyone, from the energy or the Keepers of Light. Cancer, you guys received Lord Shiva, and this is about transcendence. Now we'll touch a little bit more on this at the end of the reading and see what messages are inspired for you from that particular card. For now, we will shuffle these and see what's coming your way. October still is a very tumultuous month astrologically wise, so I suspect we will be seeing lots of movement and changes within people, governments, countries and all sorts. But anyhow, let's see what your focus is for October. So this is for Cancer. Envy, attachment, indecision. Ooh, there's 3 emotional cards to start off with right at the beginning. The thinking man, the door to romance, and patience. So Cancer, you guys seem to have a little bit of a message about your emotions and your feelings and thoughts for the month of October. We can see these ones up here are particularly personal energies and personal emotions. So the reading feels as though it works around you guys in particular. So you are pivotal, or you're the key focus for the month coming up in October. So it's not so much about other people in your life or what's going on with other people. It's about sorting something out within yourself and reclaiming things or readjusting them one way or another. Let's start off with that card number 20, the Envy card. The Envy card to me would be like the 4 of Cups in the tarot reading. It's kind of that feeling where we are forgetting to look at what we currently have in life and forgetting to value the things that we have. We often see others with something that appears to be better than us, or we see something that we really want that perhaps we can't afford it, and there's that saying, the grass is always greener on the other side, and then there's that saying, keeping up with the Joneses. Well, this card Envy is very much like that. It's about looking out and forgetting to look within, and when we do that, we often only get a glimpse or a certain perspective of the reality of what we feel others have anyhow. Usually whatever you see or think that you see someone else has, there are always their own personal issues going on behind the scene, and not everything is as wonderful and as lovely as it might appear to be. So it pays to step back and take a look within and see, why am I asking or seeking to find new things all the time? Why do I want this that I haven't got? Or why do I want that I haven't got? Or why am I envious of what Billy Joe has or Jimmy Jane? I don't know, but you have to come back and say to yourself, what am I fundamentally not enjoying in my own life, and why am I not enjoying it? Most of us on this planet, other than if we are in dire need of a home or some finances to help us through our monthly living, most of us have enough needs around us. I'm not being flippant here. I'm not suggesting the people in Africa or Myanmar or people who have just been through the horrendous hurricanes and cyclones have enough. That's a different scenario. But I'm talking just averagely here. If we are safe and sound in our lives and we have a home to live in and we have the money and the fortitude to pay our monthly bills, from that perspective, materialistically we have enough. The envy, if you are feeling any, that takes you above the material plane and takes you into the spiritual realm, and you're envious of either spiritual teachers or guides or what another person has in the way of connection with some religious or spiritual philosophy, then again it's still time to come back to within and address why you want these things or how you can obtain them. Being envious or jealous is the very opposite of ever getting what you want. So it's important to really drop that energy down and to come back within and focus from your perspective on how to move forward. And also finding some form of satisfaction in the things that you do have around you is really important. And giving appreciation for them every day. Like, wow, thank you, I'm so happy to wake up today in my home. Thank you for that. I'm so happy to wake up with friends in my life, or the job that I have that pays my bills, or the fact that I have a certain degree of health so that I can survive each day and move on to do something else. And when we focus on the gratitude and the things that we do have in our life, we begin to drop off envy, attachment and indecision. All of those three will disappear when you address each one individually. It's very interesting that they're all linked to each other. They're all kind of the same, slightly lower vibrational energies. Envy could be replaced with appreciation. Attachment could be replaced with freedom. And indecision could be replaced with decision making. And those are far more positive perspectives. Every action has a reaction. Every thought has an opposite thought too that spawns out against it or propels itself further out into the universe. So it really is fundamentally so important about how we address our internal emotions and how we propel them outwards. That which is within is without. It's all of those type of funny little sayings that actually mean so much. And I know when we're in a dark place or we're feeling anxious or a bit down or restricted or are feeling lost, it's very, very hard to turn the tables over and bring in the positive emotions. But it's from that very starting place of difficulty where it turns the tables and it actually does help the ball to spin outwards in that positive direction. Attachment is very similar. It's suggesting here if any of you have an attachment to something that you're no longer receiving positive energies from, relationships, jobs, people, health, emotional issues, it's time to let them go and move forward. You know, I've been telling all the other signs that this is a very powerful time of the year, this particular between September and October, but even more so, it's more than just a powerful time of this year. It's a very powerful time of a whole bunch of years here. You have an opportunity at this point in time to change paradigms in your life and take them from seemingly gloomy or boring or blah into positive. But you have to work at it and you have to really put your foot forward with these higher vibrational thoughts and attitudes and let go of the people that aren't serving you or the situations that haven't been helping you. Let go of fear and worry and anxiety. And Cancers, you can be prone to needing that security and feeling, you know, safe and secure in your home environments or your jobs or your friendships. And if you look around and you're saying to yourself, but they're not giving me that happy, positive vibe, or they're not doing for me anything positive, then you need to readjust them and revalue them and see what is missing and see how you can actually change the vibrational frequency of it. It all starts from ourselves. Everything in our life does. And we mustn't become the victim. We must become the victor and take responsibility. So the next one is indecision. And I actually really like this card because it tells us we have opportunities and they're there. So we needn't feel envy and we needn't feel, you know, locked down to attached objects and too afraid to give them away. We have the option. We have the option of taking A or B or left or right or up or down. So we're not actually stuck anywhere. And I think that as the reading is going through, it's giving you some insight into that. So it's sort of addressing these emotional feelings that might be going on in the background around any number of situations or issues. But the reality is you're not as stuck as you think you are. And it's all about making a decision. And the strangest thing is, I know it can be hard to make a decision. I've been to those places myself in life, and I'm not a very good decision maker often. I go, oh my God, but what if, but what if? I'm quite tragic at that. So I know the feeling, but when you actually make that decision, you have engaged yourself in the energy of that pathway forward, and even by doing that, you're actually enabling movement forward. You're enabling creativity, you're enabling something to happen, and off you go again, and all the wheels start turning. So as I say, I like that card for so many reasons. It kind of kicks us into action. And then we come down here to the thinking man, and he could be yourself. So he could either be yourself as a man, especially if you're watching this, utilizing the power of your intellect. You know, as humans, that's probably what sets us apart from most of the other living creatures on the planet. We have an intellectual capacity that we use, hopefully, more than just our emotional capacity. Because when we combine the both, we should be getting good, resonant movements forward, and compassion and understanding with intellect as well. So when you use your brain around situations or circumstances, you usually are able to remove the emotive part, like the envy or the attachment or the indecision. So this is telling you it's a time to employ your intellect in and around your month for the life of October, and really deploy that intellect into certain circumstances that you feel need it to take you further into a higher step or a better, quicker movement forward. If it's not you as a male, this could be a male in your life who is an intelligent person, who is propositioning certain ideas or getting the ball rolling for you. Again, this could be an employer or an accountant or a bank manager or a loans officer or someone along those lines. It could become a mentor in your life, or as well, it could also become someone who is a new friend or romantic liaison person. And given that he is right next to the door to romance, it does feel as though that might be an option. In fact, he is looking quite beguilingly into that door of romance. So I think for some of you, there could be a person turn up in your lives who is seemingly one of intellect or uses his mind a lot. Now, often that can be also associated with air sign activity. That's your Aquarius and your Gemini and your Librans. They are often very intellectually activated, and they use their minds and they use communication as well. So this could be a really nice time in October where some of this up here does get swept away by some sort of interesting energies happening down here. If it's not a new romance for some of you who are already in partnerships, perhaps there's a rekindling or a reignition to the romantic sector of your life with this type of person who exists here. Or perhaps this person helps to reignite your romantic situation as well. But the door to romance is definitely about love and the heart chakra, possibly new romances coming in. It's also about romancing yourself as well, and we feel romance as one of those wonderfully light, invigorating emotions that come to us, quite the polar opposite of these three up here. So even though those first three cards turned up with that obvious message that they wanted to get across, they're pulling it through down here in a much lighter, bubblier, effervescent mode, as if to say to you, guys, don't forget about the other side of your life, and it's down here in this row, and it needs to be, you know, felt and not respected, but it needs to be felt and sort of grooved into and enjoyed, and, you know, don't leave it on a shelf somewhere, because it is there. And I think if we get lost in too much of this up here, we often miss the wonder and the enjoyment and the fascination and spontaneity of life. The last card for your reading is the Patience card, and it's a nice message. It kind of talks to us a little bit about knowing that things always change anyhow, that everything is cyclical, and I think that's why the clock is being held in the middle, and it's all about timing. And the Patience card would tell you that anything that has been frustrating you, or you have felt has been held up for some reason or another. Regardless of whatever it is, for each of you it will be different. For some it will be very personal matters, for others it will be creative forces or issues, or sitting exams or passing them, or looking for jobs and career, or finances coming in, or health options. They're just saying, have some patience. It's underway. It's being worked on. And this is, it's interesting that it's under the indecision path. It's almost as if that indecision you've had has had something to do with a timing issue in your life. Now, I also very much understand that. And I've often said to, my family members or friends or whatever, look, you can't force things. Sometimes I can't make a decision because it's not ready to happen yet. So I also do view life from that perspective. I feel when it's meant to happen, it will, and you get nudges from the universe. You'll get synchronistic events occurring. You'll get messages happening, especially psychic and clairvoyant and synchronistic. So keep your eye out for that, because that may be the thing that you need to see or hear to know which way to move forward in a place of indecision as well. So either of those two messages that I've given about that indecision card could be valid and worthy. So there we are, Cancer. It's quite a personal reading. It's a very intricate one about your personal emotions in particular. As I say, it doesn't really talk a great deal about anything beyond yourself. It's asking you to address how you feel right at the moment and perhaps change some of them, bring more positivity in, and remember playfulness and love and happiness and bubbliness in your life, and just have patience on whatever it is that you are waiting for, because it is in the turn of events and changes that are coming your way. Timing is not all about us and how we want it and when we want it, and the sooner we understand that and take that on board, the easier it is to let go of timing events. The easier it is to say, well, it is what it is, and when it happens, I'll be ready for it. So with that, let's move on to your last card. We will pack these ones away and get this card out, and it's Lord Shiva, and interestingly enough, an amethyst crystal was sitting on it, so I shall put that there as well. So Lord Shiva, and we will wind this in a little bit for you. Oh, and I've gone too far. Yeah, I think for you guys, the whole recent eclipse series will have played a big part, because on the top of Lord Shiva's head we have an ecliptical moon. So this is also representative of a new moon as well, of course. But I think the eclipses that you went through in August, both the lunar and the solar eclipse, may have had quite a profound effect on some of you. And these energies are really bounding through now, especially with the particular planetary lineups that we have. So for you guys, Lord Shiva is saying transcendence. So, move above. Again, this is a very, very high quality, high vibrational essence that if we can deliver to ourselves, it takes us to places far beyond any heavy emotions that we experience here on earth. So rise up. Honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. I find it quite profound when the final cards that I hand out, which I dealt out far before I ever started the videos for you, actually a couple of days before, that they match so intrinsically with the reading, that these are some of your profound synchronistic messages coming through already that help you to understand what the reading is about and where you're headed. So really embellish the energies of Lord Shiva there and enjoy the opportunity to experience that transcendence and higher thought plane and the really high energetic vibrations that come in with it. It is beautiful, and the words again, rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given, and that's what that patience card is all about. When they say, I'll just get it for you, when they say have patience, because you are going to experience, all that is with that beautiful white angelic light. And it says dance with the universe. So yes, and I said that earlier. I said remember playfulness and bubbliness and lightness. So I love the finishing touch for your reading. I think it's really positive, and it's very, very personal, which is what I had said all along. So enjoy the reading, you guys, at your individual levels, and come back and listen to it often and re-imbue yourself with the energies for the month, and know that there is positivity around for you all. So thank you all for listening and joining, subbing and liking, and I love reading your comments. Some of them are just truly beautiful. So I wish you all a very happy, wonderful, magical October ahead. Thank you again, everyone. Much love. Namaste.